Not every UFO sighting becomes history. Most vanish. A light over a field, a shape over a highway, a story told once and then lost. But some cases do not disappear. They harden. They cross borders. They survive decades. They become reference points, not just for believers, but for journalists, historians, governments, and generations of witnesses. And the question is not just what was seen. The deeper question is, why did these nights survive when so many others did not? Welcome back to UFO to UAP, the Disclosure Report. My name is Matt Tones, and today's episode is called The Nights the World Remembered: Why Some UFO Cases Became Global Legends. Please subscribe, share our podcast. It's a massive help for us. For years, people have searched for patterns in the phenomenon itself: a season, a cycle, a hidden timetable. But the more revealing pattern may not be in the sky at all. It may be in the way human systems remember. Because when you compare the world's enduring cases, Washington in 1952, Westall in 1966, Belgium 1989 to 1990, Ariel in 1994, Phoenix in 1997, Kaikoura, a different kind of structure appears. The first pattern, the cases that last, are narratively simple. The stories the world remembers are not always the ones with the best raw evidence. They're the ones that can be retold in a sentence. Objects over Washington, a giant V over Phoenix, school children at Ariel, students at Westall, F-16s chasing triangles in Belgium. That matters because history is not just built by evidence, it is built by compression. The cases that survive are the cases that can be carried. A journalist can headline them, a witness can repeat them, a documentary can frame them instantly. And once that happens, the event stops being local, it becomes symbolic. The second pattern, the biggest cases happen at institutional edges. Look closely at where the major cases unfold, not just in the sky, but on the ground. Washington happened over the US Capitol, where radar tracks and strange lights forced political attention and eventually a Pentagon press release. Westall happened at a school where memory became social immediately, not isolated, but shared, repeated, and preserved in a community. Ariel happened at a school too, and from there moved quickly into international media and psychiatric scrutiny, giving the event a second life beyond the playground. Kaikoura became durable not simply because of the lights themselves, but because television crews were there, footage existed, and officials were left publicly baffled. This is not random. The most durable cases do not just need witnesses, they need relay points. Schools, capitals, broadcast media, air defense systems, places where a sighting enters not just memory, but structure. The third pattern, night cases dominate the official archive around the world, but daylight school cases dominate cultural memory. Most of the great official cases belong to the night. Washington was a radar and night sky event. Belgium was a night wave. Phoenix was a night case. Kaikoura belonged to the dark, the horizon, the uncertainty of distance and tracking. That makes sense. Night favors lights. Night favors radars. Night favors air defense ambiguity. But two of the most psychologically powerful cases, Westall and Ariel, happened in daylight, in schools, in dense witness settings. That suggests something researchers often blur together. There may be two overlapping traditions in UFO history. The instrumental night sky, where cases are built through radar, pilots, and official uncertainty, and the social daylight encounter, where cases are built through human density, shared witness memory, and psychological impact. Those are not the same kind of event, but together they make up much of the modern UFO canon. The fourth pattern, official reaction, does not just document a wave, it can create one. This may be the most overlooked trend of all. In the Belgian wave, the famous March 30, 1990 event gained enormous force after military response and publicity. Reports from many additional witnesses flowed in afterward, not just during the event itself. In Washington 1952, the sightings escalated from radar anomalies into a national story because they happened over the Capitol and forced an Air Force response in public. The UK files reveal the same principle in another form. Reporting surges were shaped not just by aerial events, but by media conditions, including the 1978 Close Encounters era and the 2009 spike partly attributed to Chinese lanterns. So waves are not always discovered. Sometimes they are constructed in real time through feedback loops. Official reaction, media amplification, retrospective witness identification, and public reclassification of earlier ambiguity. That means the archive is not just a record of events, it is also a record of how societies decide an event matters. The fifth pattern, the real constant, is observational density. Not season, not latitude, not one specific month. The strongest global constant is observational density. The biggest cases happen when there are many eyes, many angles, many institutions, and many ways for an anomaly to become public fact. Washington had radar, controllers, pilots, press in the symbolic weight of the Capitol. Phoenix had a huge metro area and a shape simple enough for thousands to describe it in the same words. Westall and Ariel had density clustered child witnesses in daylight. Belgium had military escalation and later public accretion, I should say. Kaikoura had cameras, news crews, and official uncertainty. And that may be the deepest insight of all. The biggest UFO cases are not necessarily where the phenomenon is strongest. They are where the event meets the greatest capacity to be seen, shared, and institutionalized. So in closing, why do some UFO cases become global legends while others disappear? Not simply because they are true, not simply because they are false, not simply because they are the strongest, but because they sit at the intersection of narrative legibility, institutional amplification, observational density, official friction, and retrospective witness accretion. That is the hidden architecture of UFO history, not just the sky above us, but the systems below it, deciding which nights the world will remember. This has been UFO to UAP, the Disclosure Report. I'm Matt Tones. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our podcast and don't forget to tell your mum about our podcast.